Let's face it, the transfer case shift levers found on the 2007 to 2018 Jeep JKs is, well, less than user-friendly. That's why B&M came up with their extended length transfer case shift lever. With the extended length and ergonomic bend, it provides additional leverage, reducing the effort that's required to shift the transfer case. Which is exactly why we're going to install one in my buddy's Jeep. The first step is to remove the shifter knob as well as a transfer case shift lever knob. To do this, grasp the knob and twist and pull at the same time. Next, we need to remove the console lid cover itself. To do this, open the center console and with your fingers in the cutout for the parking brake, lift up on the cover to release it. Then fully engage the parking brake lever until it's nearly vertical. Now work your way forward, removing the console cover as you go. Pull the shifter through the rubber boot, being careful not to tear the boot as you remove it. We can set the console cover out of our way for now. Now, in order to remove the console base assembly, you'll have to remove the 4 Torx bolts that secure it. You'll find a bolt on either side near the front of the console, as well as 2 bolts at the back of the assembly. Using the appropriate Torx bit, remove both bolts from the console base. To access the rear bolts, you'll need to slide both seats forward first. Now we can slide the seats back again, and we can remove that center console. Before we remove the center console though, don't forget to disconnect the electrical connection found at the base. As you remove the console, it may be necessary to move the shift lever to make it easier. And now we have complete access to the transfer case shifter assembly. Use a small flat blade screwdriver to remove the dust cover from the transfer case shifter. Slide a screwdriver between the plastic base and the tabs that are found on the metal cover at the back as well as the front of the shifter assembly. Once all 4 tabs are released, you can pull up on the cover and remove it. Use a pair of needle nose pliers to pry and remove the retaining clip that's found in the shifter pivot pin. Make sure and save the clip, we'll need to reuse it later. You will also need to remove the shift cable from the shifter. Using a flat blade screwdriver, gently pry and separate the cable from the mounting stud. To remove the stock shift lever from the base, tap the pin towards the passenger side and pull the pin the rest of the way out. Now we can remove the stock shifter from the base assembly. In order to install the new B&M shift lever, you'll have to squeeze the spring-loaded detent tightly as you drop it into the shifter base. Be sure that you have the shift lever facing the correct direction. The shift cable stud should be facing the driver's side. Once the shift lever is in, line up the holes and install the pivot pin that we removed earlier. You may have to tap on the pin to get it in completely. Now reinstall the retaining clip. If your clip is too loose, you can flatten it gently with a hammer to restore the tension, or you'll have to replace it with a new one. Line up the shift cable retainer with the stud on the new shifter and press it firmly until you feel it click into place. The shifter should move freely now. Remove the shift knob if installed and slide the dust cover over the shift lever. Press down on the cover until all 4 tabs fully engage. We can begin to reassemble our console now. Slide the console base assembly back into position and line up both shift levers with the respective holes in the console base. Work the console into position and feed the emergency brake through its cutout. Once the console is back into position, don't forget to reconnect the wiring harness. Then you can reinstall the 4 Torx bits that we removed earlier, securing the console base to the framework. To reinstall the console cover, carefully feed the shift lever through the rubber boot, then feed your new B&M lever through its cutout. Move the cover into position until it drops down over the e-brake lever. When the cover is aligned properly, press down along the whole length of the cover, locking the tabs into place. All that's left to do now is install our new B&M shifter ball. It simply threads onto the new lever. Then you can lock it into place using a 9/16 wrench to tighten the jam nut. We can also reinstall the stock gear shift knob. Line up the knob in the correct orientation and give it a firm whack. With our new extended length lever from B&M, it's going to be a lot easier to reach and a lot easier to shift when we're off-roading. To see our full line of shifters for your application, visit our website at bmracing.com.